Trigger warning. This video contains references to suicide, mental health, and childhood trauma that some viewers may find distressing. If you need resources or support, visit www.beyondblue.org.au for free counselling open 24/7 for everyone in Australia. Or visit Lifeline for 24-hour crisis support on www.lifeline.org.au. Please proceed with caution and exercise self-care.
So I found positive is very because that's a local company, and I had the meeting with my coach then, Trevor. We went through our situation, and then we've been informed that yes, you can go ahead with your equity and other stuff. So I think we also have the mortgage broker. They help us to get the lending to get our investment property. So I think just after 6 months we joined positive.
You're listening to Property Investor Tales, stories from the front yard. Here's your host, Hayley Beavis.
Hello and welcome to Property Investor Tales, stories from the front yard. My name is Hayley Beavis and I am a property consultant here at Positive Real Estate, where we help people build wealth through property. Today I am joined by Lee and Jing, who have an amazing outlook on life. Born in China and made the move to New Zealand, now in Brisbane, Australia, where they are living the good life. They talk through the challenges of not being able to service a loan, how they picked themselves up, worked through challenges and got themselves into a great situation to move forward and purchase some fantastic properties. Some of these properties today are worth 2.5 times more than their original purchase price only 6 years ago. They also talk through how it's important not to take advice from family and friends, how important it is to have personal and property buffers, and to invest in yourself and take massive action. If you don't change, nothing will change for you. Enjoy this conversation with Lee and Jing. Okay, hello and welcome to Property Investor Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And first of all, let's kick off with a bit about your background. You have an incredible story in, your property investing journey over the last few years. And it'll be awesome to share it with everyone today. So what is your background? Where do you live? You live in the same hometown as me, but tell me a little bit about yourselves.
I might start with myself. I was born in China. I went to New Zealand back in 2002. That's 20 years ago. And I started there. And I lived there for the last 17 years. And then we moved to Brisbane 3 years ago. So really enjoy living here.
Beautiful.
And
And what do you do for work?
Both me and my wife, Jing, we're both mental health nurse. We work in the hospital. So we've been working over the last 12, 13 years.
Beautiful. And I bet you find that job quite rewarding. I mean, you would see, a lot of different things being a mental health nurse. So tell me a little bit about, your role and some tools that you use in that role as well, that probably help you in the outside world with property investing and so forth.
Yeah, of course. Yes. It's quite challenging for our work, I guess. So been looking after the client with mental health issues. Sometimes can be very challenging because looking at their background or their childhood sometimes can be quite sad to say, but I think we are doing a good job, I guess, especially for people with suicidal thoughts and all sorts of mental health issues. And been quite enjoy my job anyway, and happy to help people and see people progressing and recover from the hard time. And I guess it's quite rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, Lee, especially, I've seen some of the posts that you put on Facebook as well. And, you're quite positive in the way your outlook and the way that you approach situations. So I really appreciate you doing that, and I think everybody else does as well with your outlook and your positivity. It certainly shines throughout the group. So keep doing what you're doing in that
Thank
space.
you. Thank you. I think we just need to be more positive, when we dealing with stress and challenges.
Yeah.
So we learn a lot from our work as well. Yeah, that help our investment journey as well, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your experience prior to joining PRE. I believe you joined in about 2017, is that correct?
Yeah, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think because I'm very interested in property actually. I
Hmm.
remember, in the old days, even before I started work, and then I've been doing a lot of research.
Yeah.
Where that was back in New Zealand, and so yeah, I've been doing a lot of research about the property market. And from my background, I guess my dad is business owner. He ran the business back in China, but now he's retired. Just speaking from his experience, like he bought a couple of properties in the capital city back in China. That was back in 2002. The capital gain is so that's great. Like even from 300K to like a 4 to 6 mil in like
Wow.
within like a 15 years period. That's the booming. So I realized property investment is very it's a way of creating wealth. So yeah, I guess I think one of the reason probably I'm starting to looking at property investment. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys bought yourself your first house in New Zealand back in 2010, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was when I started my first job,
Yep.
and I got both me and Jing has been saving during that time.
Yep.
That was the property is a little bit cheap compared to nowadays then.
Yep.
So I guess it was our first property is like a two-bedroom house, not flash or just a standard house, and we paid for 270K during that
Yep.
time. And so I was very lucky we bought it then, and we used the equity to buy the second house.
Fantastic. Yeah, so able to kind of leverage off that first property to get you into
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
second. And
Yeah.
New Zealand's a very different market to Australia, isn't it, in the way that you invest and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It is very different. So we learned the difference between the two different markets,
Yep.
and yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, what was holding you back prior to joining PRE, previous to 2017? What do you feel like was holding you back throughout those years to, really kick off your investing journey?
Yeah, I think a couple of things probably other property investors or people investing in property probably have the same feeling because the market is, back in 2008 and I know the GFC and things happening during that time. A lot of people, don't want to buy or just hold. But I think we also have the fear, how, if the property not increasing in value, what's the point to buy or
Yeah.
invest in properties? A lot of things I guess, our mindset just
Mm.
stop during that time. We don't have an opportunity to speak to people who's been there, done that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess also because our financial situation not that great during that time because I think Jing was pregnant and only one salary and very hard to get the loan to get the next property, I guess.
Yeah, so that opens up
So
to the next thing, right? I mean, when
yeah,
you guys moved across to Australia, you guys were already members of Positive Real Estate, and you'd
that
purchased a couple of properties along the way.
yeah, that,
And tell me about Treehouse.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, treehouse. Yes. That was even before moving to Brisbane. We want to buy property before we move here. I get a lot of probably Kiwis want to do the same.
Yeah.
Um, but we didn't realize that not that easy, That's it's more like a roller coaster for us
Yeah.
during that time because we initially paid for the deposit during that time. And we thought, because during that time, I'm the only one working, even working as the, essential worker, but moving from one country to another, you don't have the credibility. You still have to start from the scratch, I
Yeah.
guess. So, I was the one working. I tried to work as much as possible. Sometimes I work 6 days a week to try to get a lending. But unfortunately, we were being told by the broker we couldn't get a lending because the servicing,
Yeah.
just for one salary is not that helpful. But I never give up. I'm trying to talk to different brokers. Luckily we found one broker who said, probably you can cross the line. So we said, oh yeah, we got some hope. And so we've been waiting for it. But things happened just before settlement for Treehouse.
Yeah.
And the broker told us, no, you couldn't get a loan because something happened with the lender. They're not happy to give you guys the loan. So that's quite stressful actually. Very
Yeah.
stressful because with one income and also they couldn't settle the property and that's quite but luckily I think the good thing happened. I had a chat with my property coach here. I talked to Sam about our situation.
Yeah.
And we luckily we roll over the deposit to the next area project trailers.
Yeah. You guys, I mean, to be able to turn lemons into lemonade in that instance where, you guys were in a position where you could, trying to settle that particular property initially and couldn't. But I know that you tried your very hardest. I was obviously chatting to you at the time as well. And
That's right.
you really pushed through a lot of those boundaries to keep
Yeah.
moving forward. And
Yeah.
with, rolling your deposit into the next area property, you
Mm.
guys, will have made quite a lot of money on that one nowadays by the time that does come around for settlement. So with your next steps, I mean, once you joined Positive Real Estate, what were the things you were able to learn at Positive Real Estate to keep you moving forward, the support and things like that? So tell me a little bit about your journey, post joining Positive Real Estate and how you've progressively moved forward.
Oh yeah, that was it's a good story actually.
Yeah,
You know,
it is a good story. You're right.
a lot of good stories. Anyway, so yeah, I was the one. Probably I was influenced by my dad. He's
Yeah,
business owner. He's not like a 9 to 5 job sort of person.
yeah,
And so I was born with the gene. Sometimes I always want to run my own business or do some investment. Um, Back in the old days when I was back in New Zealand, I've been read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert
yes.
Kiyosaki. I guess a lot of investors have been reading that book
If
and
anyone
learned a
hasn't
lot.
read that listening, make sure that you read Rich Dad Poor
Yep,
Dad.
read that book not once, maybe twice, many
Yeah.
times. So anyway, so I guess learning the property investment is very solid,
Yeah.
very creating wealth is one of the best strategy probably. And so I've been to different webinars back in New Zealand,
Yeah.
including Rich Dad Poor Dad and also Positive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah,
Mhm.
and in terms of the properties that you've, purchased over the years as well, I mean, you've got a pretty amazing story with a lifestyle property over in New Zealand that,
Mhm.
you purchased for some would say a reasonable amount of money, but probably, not too bad. But now, that's more than doubled for you in how long ago was that you purchased?
I guess it was about 6 years ago.
6 years, and it's
Yeah,
more than doubled in that
yeah.
time,
I
which
think
is
thanks to COVID, probably they also help.
yeah. Yes, I think we can thank COVID for a lot of things during that time,
Yeah,
right?
we do. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
absolutely.
people feeling is stressful, but there are always opportunities for people who are, ready for it and
Yeah.
being prepared.
That's a really good point to make. When we're moving through different markets and times and,
Mm,
hearing things like the media and, you've really got to put your head in the sand with that and, look at the opportunity for what it's worth at the time
yeah,
and keep moving through, which is exactly what you guys did throughout
yeah.
that period. So,
Exactly. I
yeah,
guess another thing when I joined Positive, because that's why I met Sam when
yeah,
I joined the bus tour, like I think in I think 2017, just
yeah,
maybe 2019 before we moved here.
yeah,
And we come here. I come here to Brisbane, had a bus tour then, and learned a lot about the Brisbane market and the whole
yeah.
Australian market. And also I went to Melbourne bus tour with Sam as well and learned heaps from him. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
Sam's amazing. And I mean, those bus tours bring back the bus tour, right?
Yes, yes, that's right. We want it back.
Yeah. You got to keep nudging Sam to bring back the bus tour because that was, an amazing day to jump on there and get a wealth of
Yeah,
knowledge from Sam talking
exactly.
to.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
also talk to like-minded people.
Right.
So yeah, you have shared the same parents. That's good way of learn from each other. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. With your friends and family, and do you talk much to people about your investing journey along the way? Apart from probably people that you meet here at Positive Real Estate?
Yes, I guess for property investor, I guess a lot of us don't talk to um you know um
Yeah.
talk to them about the property investment because sometimes family can give you wrong advice or
Mm.
and worry about you, I guess, because from my experience, like my in-law, when we're talking about investment, property investment, they are worried, but they couldn't sleep if they they
Yeah.
hear too much about how much loan you get from the bank. Are you able to pay them back? And yeah, they don't understand about the leveraging and good debts and bad debts. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier just not to mention it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You can talk to people who have the same mindset, like,
Yeah.
they understand because
Yeah.
they've been there, they've done that, and they understand what you're doing and they
Yeah.
support you. But I guess you can't just talk to any single family or friends. They don't go through the process like
Yeah,
mm,
100% agree with you there. There's a real select few that you talk to along
yeah,
the way. Um,
right.
so tell me about what you would consider your best deal. I know that you've probably got too many best deals to choose from in your portfolio, which is an amazing thing. Tell
Yeah.
me about your best deal or your best deals that you've
Well,
done.
yeah, I think before this podcast, I have a chat with Jing about our best deal, like,
Yeah,
which one we should talk about. We both of us agree that I think the first house probably is the one help us to get today's
yeah,
situation, even though we sold it after 12 years. But I guess that's one of the best deals. Help us, create equity, and
yeah.
then the cash flow, and help us to get where we are today. Yeah,
Yeah, helped you leverage off that property to purchase
yeah,
other
yeah,
properties. Yeah,
yeah. Even though it's
absolutely.
not one of the most expensive one in the portfolio, but I guess
Yeah,
that's one of the probably best deal we have to say help us get everything just
yeah.
help us the portfolio to grow
Yeah, that was probably the stepping stone for,
mm,
the next and the next and the next, which is,
that's right
yeah.
yeah
And
yeah
timing on that property, you did really well as well. You purchased that, 2010, and,
mm.
being able to sell it for, I think it would have been, yeah, more than double as well, right?
I think that like
Yeah,
a 2.5 times because we bought
yeah,
that one for 270 and sold it for 700 so
yeah. In a 12-year journey, that's pretty amazing, right?
It is, yeah. We're very glad with that. Yeah.
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 Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alrighty. And what have been, off the back of, what's your best deal, what have been your biggest lessons that you've learned throughout your property investing journey?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot of lessons we learned for the last,
Yeah.
I guess, 10 years since we rented our first property 12 years ago. I guess, like what Sam or Jason always to say about the safety buffers. I
Yeah.
guess that's a good learning for us because moving from New Zealand to Brisbane like 3 years ago, we kind of don't have much saving, and we also don't prepare much for safety buffer for all the properties. So yeah, ideally, I guess we should have like a 5 to 10 grand safety buffer for each of the investment properties. Um, but during that time, I don't think we prepared pretty well. So when we moved here to Brisbane, because I'm the only one working during that time, and our income not that great, and also yeah, salary wise, we're very struggling. We're very struggling because
Yeah.
I still remember during the COVID time, I worked in the hospital. I only worked like 2 days every month for a month, whole month
Yeah.
probably. Yeah. So luckily, we listened to Sam. I guess he supported a lot during that time to the members, to the clients, and we
Absolutely.
paused all the loans back in New Zealand, and we used the passive income to help us. Just to get the our actually for our living during that period of time. It's just
Yeah.
quite stressful. So after that, we learned, we all learned from the mistakes, and then now I'm prepared, well prepared for the safety buffers
Yeah.
into the future.
Yeah, which is amazing because over the last few years, I mean, you guys have been able to get yourself in a really good position by purchasing a couple more properties as well and
Mm,
getting those safety buffers under control. So
yeah.
I completely agree with you. Safety buffers are, personal buffers, property buffers. They are something that are very, very important and important along your property investing journey because even
Mm,
simple things like, I mean, it's not I shouldn't call it simple, but investment rate, interest rate rises, sorry. Things like interest rate rises, and if you don't
mm,
have your interest rates locked in at that point in
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
of course, your repayments are increasing. So ensuring that you have those property buffers and those personal buffers in place is
Exactly.
realistically a sleep at night factor, right?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
allows you
Yeah.
to go to bed and be okay with where
Yeah.
you're at.
Yeah. You should be able to pass the sleep test anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mm.
And what is the weirdest or funniest thing that's happened along your property investing journey?
Um. Well, I was thinking about the one like we talked about probably earlier about the area tree house. Like,
Yeah.
we might just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah.
Like during that time, we've been told we can't settle the property.
Yep.
So quite stressful during that time, and luckily we got the support from the PRE team, and especially Sam, and we roll over to the trailers during that time.
Yep.
And I because during that time we don't know what's going to happen.
Mm.
Because if you lose this deal, what's happening? Because we still have to get somewhere to live. So instead we rented in treehouse. And also we roll over the deposit to trailers. So
Yep.
during that time, because the I guess 18 months ago, the government always send money to people to buy more property or the homeland package. So
Yep.
we because during that time we sold the house in New Zealand.
Yep.
Just so we used some of the money temporary deposit to buy the house in Flora.
Yes.
So yeah, so and then yeah, almost finished anyway. The flower house will be settled, and the completion will be on Thursday this week.
Amazing. That's
That's
exciting.
even though after 2 month delay, but yeah, finally
Yeah.
that's good in this market anyway. So
Oh, totally. That's
yeah,
pretty good
um,
for current times.
yeah. So also the yeah, because we still got a bit cash in hand, so
Yep.
that's why we look at other opportunities.
Yep.
So when Sam mentioned the one Agora in Victoria and Melbourne, we thought, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's one works pretty well for us because they'll be settling in 2 years' time. So
Yep.
yeah, off the plan, always a good strategy for you to stay in the market. And yeah, so we paid the deposit and then yeah, we wait for settlement in 2 years' time. I guess yeah, same back in yeah, tree house, and we saw, oh yes, we lost one deal, but we got 3 deals.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's pretty incredible, actually. Being able to look at the silver lining in all of that as well. To go, you know what, we missed out on that one, but that's given us
mm,
the opportunity to move forward on three other, really awesome properties.
yeah,
You're looking at some quality blue chip properties there within your portfolio that have already made a substantial amount of money during that time as well. So
yeah, we are. Yeah,
yeah, congratulations for you guys for
thank
seeing that
you.
silver lining and moving forward and giving yourselves
Yeah,
that opportunity as well.
yeah. I guess the flight to quality, yeah, yeah, property is the future. So we really happy to,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, you've certainly got a couple of those. With Aria, I mean, you guys live in one of the Aria buildings at the
mm,
moment, and
mm,
you popped a video up on the positive mentoring clients
mm.
the other day of the rooftop, and God, you're
Yeah,
you're living luxury, aren't you?
yeah. We're just living the dream, I guess.
Yeah, living the
Yeah,
dream. That's a good way.
yeah, yeah,
Good way to put it.
yeah.
That's amazing. It's really awesome to hear that. If you could give your younger self some advice, what would that advice be today?
That's a good question. I guess if I can get, financial education,
Yep.
invest in yourself and
Mm.
always talking to people who have the same mindset
Yeah.
and yeah, take action, take massive actions. Because I guess a lot of people just talking about it, never take actions. So
Yeah.
if you don't change, nothing will change for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge one, isn't it?
Mm,
You've got to really take the opportunity and want the opportunity and keep moving forward because you can sit there and sit on your hands and think, oh no, it's not working for me. Much like the treehouse property, right? You could have just
mm,
gone, well, it's
yeah.
not worked
Yeah.
out for me. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Whereas you've really,
I,
pushed
yeah.
forward.
I guess a lot of people will give up. And
Yeah.
yeah, I guess because I have a lot of friends, they talking about property, but they never take action to invest. The yeah, I guess you have to to be able to take action. That's the main thing, and
Mm.
learn from your mistakes, and you won't make the mistake again next time. And yeah, you learn from all the mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So that would also roll into, if someone was, anybody that's listening to this podcast today, hello, everybody that's listening. But, what would you say to someone that's nervous about taking the next steps? Where would you tell them to start in this instance?
Well, I guess the main thing is, probably you need to have like a positive people around you or
Mm,
who have the experience, who got the been there, done that, and also don't listen to the
yeah,
media because the media not always telling the truth. Yeah, just be prepared if you want to go ahead with property investment. That's one of the best investment, I guess. You have to be just prepared, well prepared for challenges.
yeah,
into the future. Because but me and Jing very enjoy being a property investor, I guess. And
Yeah.
also doing positive is the best decision we made. We got the coach and we got the 6-star team. So you get to, you have to have the 6-star team to help you create wealth. The main thing.
Absolutely. And you listen to a lot of Sam and Jason's podcasts as
Yes,
well. Yeah.
that's right.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, very active
Mm,
in the, mentoring, listening to Jason and Sam. So
yeah.
what do you feel as though you get out of a lot of those,
Yeah, I
podcasts?
do. I mentioned that. I really recommend people who listen to this podcast listen
Yeah.
to Sam and Jason's podcast, and
Yeah.
you learn heaps of information from there. And so you can just actually learn from that, and then it will help you with your property investment journey into
Yeah.
the
And your
future.
mindset, right?
Of
Your
course,
mindset
yes,
of, yeah. You
yes,
mentioned
the
the
mindset.
media. Yeah.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, I think you guys also doing a good job with the property investor tales, So yeah, we do learn and help people to get into the property ladder. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. You've got to shut off from some of those things like the media. You've got to, listen to the reality of what's really happening in the current
Mm,
market because a lot of that, media attention is just fear mongering or,
mm,
clickbait, you could call it. So keeping in the right frame of mind to keep yourself moving forward and as you said, have a buffer in place and you can keep on cruising without too much stress on your plate. So a very big congratulations to you guys for where you've got to in a pretty short period of time for a lot of
mm.
people. So massive congratulations to you guys for taking lemons, turning them into lemonade, keeping on moving through, buying quality properties, which has been probably one of the main things for you guys that has been
Yeah.
able to keep moving you forward as well. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thanks.
much for that.
No problem. All right. So thank you so much for joining me on the Property Investor Tales podcast today. I'm sure that there will be a lot of people that will get quite a lot out of this podcast just based on your positive mindset. And really incredible what you guys do for a job as well. So I congratulate you on that. Say a very big well done. Helping society in that way is pretty amazing. So congratulations on your property journey as well. We'll keep moving through, keep building that portfolio, and the future is looking very, very bright for you guys, as well as, current times today.
Thank you for having us, Hayley. Thank
No
you.
problem at all. Thanks for listening to Property Investor Tales. Remember to subscribe so you get notified every time a new episode drops. As you can guess, we love hearing people's property investor tales, so if you'd like to share yours, then please get in touch with us via email at positiveinvestortales@positivementor.com.au. We also love your feedback and would appreciate a 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Remember, you can watch all of these podcasts over on YouTube at Positive Mentor or at positivementor.com.au. Until then, take care and bye for now.